Welcome everyone, my name is Justin, and today we're going to be talking about something that I feel that the filmmaking and photography community doesn't give enough love to. It's not cameras, lenses, gimbals, or drones, it's media. So Delkin Devices reached out to me to test out their new Juggler. The reason why I think this is going to be a great product to test out is the fact that I've used their SD cards with my cameras in the past, in addition to my new Blackmagic 6K. And SDs can only go so far with the settings built into this camera. I didn't have the capability of shooting, 5:1, 6K, RAW, 50 frames per second, and now I have that capability. It is actually tested and recommended from Blackmagic. You can see that on their website. So before I did my tests, I made sure to toggle on if drop frames are seen, that it'll stop recording. So for my first test, I wanted to make sure that I could go into constant bitrate 5:1 RAW, 6K, 50 frames a second, and I was blown away. I was able to record 30 minutes with no stops, which kind of surprised me. I was expecting the camera to stop because I've had issues with other hard drives in the past, and I did not have that issue with this hard drive. So my second test, I wanted to make sure that I did constant quality. I was also able to do 30 minutes with no drop frames, which was very surprising. I was expecting to see at least an issue with one or the other, and that wasn't the case. I also did some tests with the higher 3:1 with 6K, and I did have some issues with that. It does not quite record the way that I was hoping. However, on Blackmagic's website, it does say that it is only capable of doing 5:1. I get about 4 to 5 seconds in 3:1, but that's not very useful, but that's fine. I mean, most TV shows, at least one of my favorites from the past few years was Game of Thrones. That was recorded, I believe, between an 8:1 or an 11:1. 5:1 is plenty good for what I'm doing, and I'm sure a lot of the other people out there filming with this camera, I think will find themselves using the 8:1. It is 1,000 write speed, and it is 1,050 read speed. That's blazing fast in comparison to a lot of other SD cards and CFast cards that you can get out there. Your fastest SD card that I've seen is 300, and that's the read speed. 250 is the write. That's still a very expensive card, $250 in most cases. I was able to actually record the whole day without having to swap out, to another hard drive. I was able to record, take it back to my computer at the end of the day, offload, and I still had some space left, which is great. So I think that the 1 terabyte version is great for myself. If you're gonna be recording 6K all day long, you'd probably wanna do the 2 terabyte version instead of the 1 terabyte, but yeah, you've got both options there. So I'm probably gonna do some more tests with other cards just to see where they stop with the recording on the Blackmagic 6K. Because I'm sure that there are going to be definitely some limitations depending on the card that you go with. So comparing it up against SD cards and CFast cards, I believe that this unit is definitely priced right, because you'll find yourself either purchasing SD cards or CFast cards that range from $250 on up, and this isn't much more than the other two types of cards. Another reason why I believe that this is going to be something that I would love to purchase is the fact that I don't have to use dongles anymore. I've been trying to get away from dongles for a very long time. A lot of the newer laptops only have USB-C or Thunderbolt 3, so you don't have the SD card slot like a lot of the older laptops did. I can actually plug in the USB-C cable and be on my way. If I happen to lose my cable, I can replace that instead of having a dongle. But yeah, I've had 2 different types. I've had one from Apple. I've also had one from Hyperdrive, which I've never been happy with, just because whenever I barely touch it, it would eject itself. And then of course the Apple one had no issues with. It's just awkward, to have that plugged into my computer with an SD card. I would much rather just record everything off of the camera directly on this device, then plug it in. I'm sure I can edit from this. I'm gonna have to ask Delkin if that is something I can do or if it's something that I'm gonna have to offload onto my LaCie hard drive. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a look at this and how I'm using it on my camera and how easy it is to get off of the rig and be able to offload and then bring it right back. So here we go, I've got the camera, I've got a tilted cage on it, and on the front side I've got the new Delkin Juggler. I set it up front here because it was kind of awkward, at least on this cage, to put it anywhere else. And I quite like it actually in the front because it does stay out of the grip area. It's not in the way of the lens when I'm changing it. And I'm able to actually slide this up and down, which is quite handy because I've got the 15mm rod section right here at the top so that I can put the motor on. So it comes out right underneath that. So that works out really great. The other thing that I really like about this setup and their design is not just the hard drive, it's the connector. The way that the device actually goes in and out with this little quick release. Really, I don't know what you would call it. It is a quick release, but you don't have to unscrew anything to get the hard drive out, which is quite handy because now I'm able to just come in here, set it in, press this to get it off, and then I'm recording just as quick as that, and I'm done. So I don't have to bring my other hand out, go in here and spin to get this locked down, which is quite nice, and I applaud you guys for that. And it's an odd shape, but I find it to be quite useful. So kudos for that, but I'd say that the tilted cage needs more mounting options, at least for the juggler, in my opinion. So we'll go over the tilted cage on another review. So we're gonna take a little closer look at the actual hard drive itself. We're gonna kind of spin it around. You'll see that the top or the front side of it has heat sinks to draw any heat away from the memory inside the unit. And on the back side, you'll see that you've got two more heat sinks, and it'll actually show you what type of media this is. Is it a 1 terabyte or a 2 terabyte? And on the side, so this thing is got thermal issues completely solved, which is great because a lot of other hard drives, their heat sinks are usually built in, and then there's a casing around that. This is solid. I feel as if I could probably drop this numerous times and not have an issue with the unit breaking. You don't have to worry about that with this device. On the front side here, you'll see a little LED in addition to the USB-C. That's the connector that you'll plug into the camera in addition to your laptop to transfer any files that you may have.
Did we test out the dropping?
Didn't break. Yeah, I think it's not gonna.
Okay.
Still didn't break.
It's loud.
It's not broken. She's just giving you guys crap. But no, I think it's very rugged. I'm not gonna have a problem with this in the field. And I'm not sure if this is weather sealed, but it looks like it might be just because it's completely, enclosed other than the USB-C. So I'm sure that I could probably feel comfortable with taking this out into a light mist or into a sandstorm or whatnot. They built this really well. At least in that respect. So if you had any questions that I did not answer, please comment down below. I will actually put Delkin's website in the description and the location that you can purchase this device. I will be doing videos very similar to this in the future about photography and filmmaking equipment and tech that I feel is very awesome and cool and that I'd like to talk about. So if you liked this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Yeah, that's the monster.